It's a raw Friday morning, wee hours of the morning. The rains are pounding and it's cold and dark. You wake up and you check it's 1:30 a.m. and you're like, I cannot sleep anymore. So what happens? Throw off the blanket, jump off the bed, check on issues, and you're like, I have something to do. You wake up, look at the environment around you, your mind goes into a spiral mode because you have a project, you have a plan, you have a goal, and you have a vision. And remember what they said? That if your dream does not scare you, then it is not big enough. Boom, I am up and I have to get up and do something. And here enters Myron Golden, a great gentleman with over 40 years building entrepreneurial expertise. And when he talks, he is so relevant, so down to earth, and explains things in very practical ways. Don't you love Myron Golden? That's my kind of a man. So, with this experience, Myron begins to talk about get rich fast and fast. Yes, FIRST and FAAST. So, why does he bring this into the core? And why does it matter to me this early morning? Because Myron throws out nuggets that are just super amazing. And one thing that he brings out is postponed performance and pause before purchase. What does he mean by postponing performance? Too many of us want to go out there and look rich, appear to be rich before we are rich because the pressures of our environment are pushing us around to want to showcase and look the idea of fake it until you make it, a concept I do not buy. So he talks about don't attempt to impress, make sure you get rich fast. And he goes ahead and says, so much is changing in terms of technology that some of us behave like we do not have time to change with time. And that is where we lose it. Myron is truly golden. So he talks about knowing the basic fundamentals. And the concept is what is my perception about the purpose of money? And this is a game changing question. Many people remain poor, and remember, I have never heard about poor class. We have the wealthy class, we have the middle class, we have the upper class. When we talk about poor, we simply talk about poor. So the poor people take money or jobs as simply a means to pay bills. That is the perception about money. You just want to pay bills. So you exist, you do everything you need to do just to pay bills. And when you do that, you don't love your job. You hustle forever because every single thing you're looking at is men. Rent is here, school fees is here, food is needed, transport is needed. All you do is think about bills. And that becomes a big problem. Why is it a big problem? Because Myron Golden says if that's what you do, your motivation is spiral because every single day all you're looking for is money enough to pay your bills. So he brings out a concept which breaks down Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant and he puts it into an inflow and income house with four windows and a door. And so he talks about how you make your money. And so for poor people, their money comes in through the income window and goes out as bills. All you do is bills and bills and bills. And so he continues and he says you have to be able to produce your way to prosperity. How to produce your way to prosperity, and he talks about what the middle class do. Middle class want to impress. They want to get good credit ratings so that they can afford things they cannot have money for. Constantly on loans, living to impress, they just want to manage and maintain that kind of life every single day. Myron Golden talks about Don't play before production. And so he goes ahead and now gets onto the third window of the wealthy, the rich. What do the wealthy do? And this is where I'm grateful that my sleep ended. Because he talks about the wealthy coming up with a concept called the IPAs. You must develop what we call income producing assets. Income producing assets might not pay you immediately. You have to impress on delayed gratification. Why? Because it will take you a while to build that portfolio. And this is what he meant by don't play before production. And he said pause before purchase. He said postponed performance. It will come naturally. So, this is what the rich do. And he puts it clearly that even with a low income job, if you have the right perception about money, trust me, you will begin building assets. And this is what many of us, me included, we have never done. You get into life and you simply begin spending, spending, and spending because the needs keep on coming because you have a feeling your income is not enough to invest. So you don't build the income producing assets, and that becomes a problem because if you continue getting more money with the wrong attitude about that money, he says you are simply gonna be broke but at a higher level. Isn't that a reality out there? Don't you see people who are broke and rich at the same time because they appear to have a lot of money, but their perception of building assets is totally very wrong. And so to me, this is a big lesson worthy of my time, and I wanted to pass it on to us because building IPAs does three things very easily. Number one, your asset portfolio continues to increase. The more it increases, it now pays you income. So you have a job which you have built through your assets and it pays you income. The income sorts your bills and sorts your debts. You're getting it? And the asset continues to generate more income. That is where many of us lose it. And we end up having the wrong intention and the wrong attention to the wrong things. But if you have an intention and attention to grow your income, then the income producing asset is the way to go. And everybody can start it at any time because when you change your perception about money, then you begin to do the right things. You can balance it and grow. It's not very easy, but it's gonna take hard work. So, how do you change with time? How do you come from just paying bills to growing an income producing asset? Because if you do not do this, you will continue being stranded, frustrated, to want to look rich, to want to appear rich, to want to appear like you have made it. Yet you have nothing to show. So, this is my prayer that as we go out there, every single day, begin redefining your asset portfolio so that it works for you. He said that he had a desire to buy this very specific car when he was just 17. But he realized that I have to go out there and make money to get that asset. And so his life is financed and funded by his assets. He does not spend the money which he does not have. So he ended up buying this car, which desired at 17, he got it at the age of 62, and now he can buy any car he wants anytime. And he's a happy man living his life because of the assets. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you listened this far, my prayer is that at the age you are now, make it prime. If you are just starting as a teenager, as a Gen Z, as a youthful person, start early. Build on your income producing assets. They will grow. They might not pay you immediately, but trust me, if it is worth the effort, if you put in the work, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, it will keep making you live a greater life. So let us delay instant gratification. Let us build the income producing assets and let us avoid pretending and looking rich. Trust me, you can do it. I can do it. We all can do it. Have a great time. Thank you for being here. It was such a pleasure listening to Myron Golden. We will do more and more and more and more of just building on this leadership as a personal development to raise resources. Thank you. God bless you. It was a pleasure having you in here. Let's keep doing this.